Hi guys, I'm back. I wanted to hurry up and get this video up because I am going in for my second surgery from my double mastectomy tomorrow. So I have a couple of really touchy, well not a couple, but just one touchy thing I want to talk about, and for me, it's a little embarrassing, and it's something that I really struggled with deciding on whether or not to actually even talk about it. But I left off in my other video talking about how when I came home, I was obviously still under anesthesia, and I was in a super duper deep fog for at least 4 days. That anesthesia is gnarly. But plus, it was a huge surgery, going in and getting all the tissue scraped out and then having another surgeon come in to put the expanders in. I was there for like 8 hours. That is a long ass surgery. So after I came home, I was in a fog for like, I don't know, a little over maybe 4 days or longer. And when I came out of my fog, a little, probably maybe 3 days to 4 days after I got home, I was going to the bathroom, and I had already had like my cycle that month. My surgery happened May 24, and I had my cycle May 3rd or 4th. So I had already done it that month, meaning I shouldn't have had another one because I never have in my life. Never have I had two in the same month. So I came home from the hospital, was going to the bathroom, and when I went to wipe, there was blood. And I'm sure I had gone to the bathroom, previously, like from the point when I did get home. I just don't remember it. I know that sounds crazy, but it is what it is. So from what I do remember, I wiped in it and there was blood, and I'm like, why? Oh my gosh, I'm having, my period again. This is crazy. I already had it at the beginning of the month. And when I went to insert a tampon, it hurt like hell. It honestly felt like somebody had their fist inside of me, and like I was torn in the inside, if that makes any sense. I've never expected to have anything like that after a surgery up here. So it was really, really, really alarming to me. I had, in the scope of all my doctors, nurses, anesthesiologists, all that kind of stuff at the hospital days prior, I had all female except for 2 males. One of my surgeons was a male, and I know for a fact that all the while he was with me, there was a team of people with me. But after the fact, that's where it kind of goes gray. And after my surgery, I am taken over by another team, supposedly. But there was a male nurse that had woken me up. And in a previous video, I had sent something about how he woke me up just to let me know that they couldn't get a hold of my contact, which I thought was really fishy. Why wake me up to tell me that you couldn't get a hold of my contact? I don't care. Get a hold of them and let me sleep off my anesthesia. So that was just really weird to me from the gate. And so I had 2 of the males, and then the rest were all females. I'm not pointing a finger at anybody because I don't know what happened, but I do know that something happened. It happened for sure. I don't know if I was left alone and someone saw an opportunity to, be mischievous with a patient who is under heavy anesthesia, basically out completely, but something happened. I know just from my personal experience that with having other surgeries, non-cancerous related in the past, that when this area gets worked on, you're not going to be bleeding or hurting or anything from the waist down. And it was very alarming that I was experiencing that at all. So I spoke to some friends about it. I didn't really know what to do about it because, mind you, by the time I came out of my head fog, it was days later. And if I had suspected that, something had gone wrong, why hadn't I gone and gotten a rape kit? I did look that up days later, and in order for a rape kit to be done where I live, you have to go to the police department. You go through a barrage of questioning. They do like a pap smear type of thing, and it's a 6 to 7 hour process. I was in a head fog for days, so I couldn't go and do that. I wasn't even thinking about that. And by the time everything clicked back into normal with my brain, when that fog kind of dissipated, I was like, something happened and something's wrong, and I shouldn't be hurting down there, and I shouldn't be bleeding down there. So that whole thing happened, and I did consult with the hospital security, the head nurse. I didn't let one of my doctors know, and I didn't actually let anybody know immediately except my mom, and also my nurse navigator, who I'd been working with from day one. She was the one that I felt most comfortable with. I let her know, and when I did, she asked if I had let anyone else know from the hospital, and I told her I didn't, because I was A, embarrassed, B, unsure of exactly what could have happened down there when I was being worked on my upper chest. And C, I didn't, who do I report this to? I don't even know. I didn't know. I had no clue. So she took a report, and then she contacted the hospital, and the hospital contacted me, the security team, and the head nurse. The head nurse is a female, and they went through a barrage of questions with me, asked me if I made a police report, asked me if I had gotten a rape kit done, which I didn't do any of that. Like, I've never been in a situation like this, anything near a situation like this. To boot, I was in that head fog for so many days that, the person that did whatever they did, I'm not saying like they, put their body part inside of me or anything like that, but it could have been a tool. It could have been an instrument. Somebody took advantage of the situation, and I know that in my heart and soul, period. That person who did that knew that I was going to be out of it for a number of days, and that I may even question, like, did anything really happen? I know that. I can feel that, and that is a fact. So they took advantage of a situation. No, I didn't go get a rape kit done. No, I didn't make a police report. I didn't know who to report it to, or not to, but against. So, and this person knows that. Whoever did that to me knows that. They know that whoever they take advantage of in that situation is going to be in the same shoes that I was. And the person that was in my or whoever that it gets done to in my shoes may not even question it. I'm questioning it because I know better. I know that nothing should be amiss downstairs while I'm getting my, cancer out of my breasts. So that happened. That was a huge, and still is a huge thing, because I honestly have reached out to, many lawyers, malpractice, hospital or medical malpractice lawyers, and I can't find anybody to even consider the case. But something that somebody did ask me in one of the offices was, do you have your medical report from the time you checked in to the time you checked out? And I said, no. They said, you need to go grab that and see if they claim that you were never left alone, go through the report and with a fine-tooth comb and see that you were never left alone. So I went and I got that report. I went through it again and again, and I couldn't find anywhere that even mentioned, surgery ended, patient was taken with so-and-so or with this doctor or with this nurse, wheeled into this area. Nothing of the sort was mentioned. And I'm like, maybe I'm just overlooking it. So on one of the final visits that I had with my plastic surgeon, who I will be seeing tomorrow, she's a female, and I did bring it into her, and I said, can you show me in this report where it solidifies the fact that I was never left alone from point A of check-in to point D of check-out, And she goes, oh, it won't be mentioned in there. We don't write that stuff down. why, what's going on? And I told her, and I said, you know, my main concern is that something did happen to me. My other concern is it's happened before. I'm surely not the first. There's no cameras in the area of the hospital that I happened to be in for patient confidentiality, which, you know, I understand. But on the other hand, it completely sucks because that was my first question. I want to go over that camera footage. I want to see who took me from point A to point B, who I was left with. Was I in a room with closed doors? Did anybody have an opportunity to take advantage of me? And if they did, who was it? Because I need to know. I can't find out. It's just a completely dark area where there's no information available. The person who did that to me knows this. So I'm beside myself. I really am. And it sucks because I have to go back to that same hospital tomorrow for my next surgery. And with the fact that the hospital security team knows about it, and they said that they thoroughly questioned every person in their nursing staff. That means that this person knows that I made an inquiry about what they did. So I'm really scared that, you know, maybe while I'm under anesthesia tomorrow, something else will happen, or could go the opposite way and they want to stay the hell away from me. Who knows? Anyway, it is a very scary situation, but I do have to go back and get the second part of my surgery done. I did request an all-female staff. That was something that my doctor said I could request due to the circumstances. So I really hope that they keep their end of the word and keep me with an all-female staff from check-in to check-out. At this point, all I can do is pray on it, but I really wish that I could find a team, a highly successful medical malpractice team, to take a look at this, because I guarantee you I'm not the first person, and if I was the first person, I'm not going to be the last. So that was something really traumatic that happened in addition to my traumatic, you know, breast cancer story, that I was really hesitant to talk about. But if anybody else has actually experienced, you know, somebody that had a double mastectomy and they had that type of problem down there, can you please let me know? Because everyone I've spoken to on my medical team has said that it's not normal, but maybe it happens. I mean, I was given all kinds of excuses from the head nurse. She's like, oh, it could have been the anesthesia. That might have made you itchy. I'm like, I wasn't itchy. Oh, well, it could have been this part of, you know, the surgery. That could have given you some uncomfortable feeling sensations down there. I'm like, that's not it. Something was shoved up there and I was bleeding. And I didn't notice it until days later out of my fog. So they made all kinds of excuses and ran around with a bunch of different ideas that were, I think, more of me trying to, I don't know, not move the situation any further. But I'm telling you, I want to move that needle ahead. I just haven't found anybody that will help me out with it so far. And you know, like I said, as far as I know, that's not normal, but maybe it's happened to somebody else too out there. And just let me know. That would be great, because at this point I feel like I'm going completely cuckoo. But I know something happened, and I know it wasn't normal, and I know I wasn't supposed to be feeling that after my surgery. So that happened. Aside from, you know, me figuring that out and processing all of that, you know, when you get home, you can't move your arms at all. You're stuck in like T-Rex position. So you're really limited to what you can do. And I had drains. I've never had drains before, and quite frankly, they're disgusting. You're wrapped around with a bandage, and then on that bandage, they safety pin, they're like drainage bags, and they have like your blood and fluid and goop in there that's draining out of where you got your surgery, so that there's no infection in there with that stuff just pooling, you know, in your chest cavity. So that was disgusting. I don't like blood. I don't like funky smells. Like, I have a super duper sensitive nose. And to have these two little like bags of fluid and the fluid smelled funky too. It just, I mean, I can't imagine I could never be a surgeon. No way. Ugh, I'll barf thinking about it. But it's just nasty. So you have to deal with those, and you have to keep emptying them into like this little measuring cup. And once you get, you know, X amount of fluid is when they can actually remove the drains. So mine took a long time, actually. I guess I'm a bleeder. So you have to go through that. Getting in the shower is so hard. You have to literally put a headband around your neck and then put the safety pins on the headband so the two bags with, you know, the drains can hang there, and it hurts. Water hurts to hit right here. It feels like somebody is just stomping on your chest, little tiny feet. It hurts so bad. So you kind of have to shower like this, and then you're really not even allowed to shower for 24 to 48 hours. So you smell like a dirty foot. This is disgusting. Oh my gosh, this was not fun for me. So yeah, the T-Rex arms, the drainage tubes, showering is so hard. It definitely helps if you have someone there to help like wash your back, you know, wash kind of like your butt cheeks, as terrible as that sounds. But my mom was here, so my mom totally helped me out. Because you can't reach, you can't do anything, you know? I mean, we take all this stuff for granted. You don't even realize what you can't do when you can't move your arms. It's crazy. So all the little things, appreciate all the little things. All the little things we don't think of them and appreciate them, I'm telling you. So your sleep position is pretty funky too, unless you're, you know, lucky enough to have one of those adjustable beds. So you pretty much have to sleep on the couch because getting in and out of bed is really hard. So you have to sleep on the couch. You have to be in up position for at least, I don't know, I was probably in up position for over a month. I mean, for me, just because laying down was really painful. Everything was really painful, actually. And I really tried to, I guess, not take as many pain pills, but I ended up taking, you know, quite a bit because I was in a lot of pain. My doctor was not forthcoming with giving me a whole lot of pain medication because of the addiction crisis out there. That's not what I'm a part of at all. But I was in a lot of fucking pain, period. So I just kind of had to suffer through it, which sucked because she wouldn't give me more when I asked for it. And I tried an alternative like the CBD. I did the CBD oil capsules. Those did nothing, like nothing for me. They may work for other people. They did nothing for me. Like, I mean, if I could have eaten a bottle of CBD oil and just poured it in my mouth, I was in that much pain that I would have done that. Not really, probably totally dangerous to do, but you know, you get the point of what I'm saying. Like, I was in a shit boat of pain. So there's all that. But I will be going in for my surgery tomorrow, and I'll be filming. You know, they give you your camera up into a certain point, but then they take everything away. So I'll be filming like maybe my ride there, maybe my check-in process. I'm not looking forward to sitting in upright position to sleep. I mean, my butt bones hurt, actually. Your sit bones or whatever they're called. I was just like numb. I just really wanted to lay down. And even now to this day, like I can't sleep on my side. I'm a side sleeper, and I can't sleep on my side because it's just like these things are just so uncomfortable. My chest is healed, but it's not like, I think, back to normal at all because it still does hurt. So I forgot to mention the medications that I was given was gabapentin. That's for the shooting pain. I still get a lot of the shooting pain, to be honest with you. And then Vicodin, of course, for just the overall general massive amount of pain. Ibuprofen, Ambien to sleep. I had a really hard time sleeping, falling asleep just because I was numb on my butt cheeks, and it was so uncomfortable at a certain point to sit and sleep. So the Ambien helped tremendously. And what else? Just a ton of follow-ups up until this point. And then, oh, of course, getting my drains out. Completely forgot about that. So I would say like a couple of, maybe 2 months into it, I got my drains out. And that was bizarre because the drain is like wrapped underneath. Somehow I think it goes this way. So it goes in here, sucks up all the stuff that's pooling here, and then, you know, you have to, it's a bizarre situation. You have to take your drain and like thread it and push all this stuff and gunk through. But so that way it's constantly like pulling everything out. But so when I did get those out, they just have you lay down on their little medical table, they snip it, and then they pull, and it's just like bloop. It's very odd, to say the least, but at least I got those out, you know. I'm happy about that because they were gross. So then fast forward to tomorrow. So I am going tomorrow to get my constructive part of the surgery done, and I will be in there for, I think, about 6 hours, maybe 5 hours, something like that. So I am looking forward to it. I am just so excited to move on from this whole thing, and hopefully forever, unless somebody reaches out to me and has an idea as to what may have happened to me after my first surgery while I was in recovery, or unless a legal team reaches out to me that thinks that I have some sort of case, even though the only proof that I have is verbal. And then of course I have a witness, my mom, because she was here when I was really experiencing that whole process. But other than that, yeah, hopefully nothing like that has happened to anybody else, because it's not fun, and it's not anything I would wish upon anyone to go through after having a double mastectomy, or ever, really. But I'm excited. I still, through the crapshoot of it all, I'm still excited to just be on my way to getting this surgery tomorrow and be hopefully done with this forever. And I will send you some more info as soon as I have it, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.